What makes you instantly dislike someone? People who are loud and won't even try to understand you. Over-entitled people who think the world owes them everything just because they came into existence. If they treat the cashier, server, worker without respect and kindness. When you can't get a word in the conversation. Personal hygiene. If I can smell you from across the room, or I have to squint my eyes when you pass me because of the smell, I automatically don't want you to exist until you take a shower. Inability to remain civil even during a disagreement. People that are condescending, that means they talk down to people. I see what you did there. When someone points a gun at me and steals all my valuables. That'll do it, yeah? Arrogance. Littering. Littering in. Littering in awe. Being ignorant and close-minded at the same time, it's the worst combination of traits. As an introvert, I don't do well with people that think they're the only person that deserves attention. If I can hear you 80% more than anyone else in the room, you need to chill. These people aren't so bad in one-on-one conversations. But Jesus wept, are they not a nuisance in a group? Seriously. I had a friend group in college that was 4 introverts and 1 attention whore extrovert. Wasn't so bad one-on-one, but when we were all together he did 80% of the talking and tried to control everything. He would hand you the mic and take it back like he was the host of a TV show, not part of a fucking conversation. He was also the only one with a car, so he thought that meant he decided where we go and when we went and what music we listened to and what we talked about and etc. 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 He would constantly change our group plans on a whim for his own satisfaction. Like be an hour late to pick us up, and once we're in the car he starts driving to the wrong place cause that's what he feels like. We tried telling him to chill but he didn't get it. So eventually we started hanging out without "Hi monsieur," it was so peaceful and fun. Getting to participate and spend time with all my friends. When he found out, he honest to God started crying. But like, dude, if you're a victim at all, you're a victim of your self-centeredness and inability to listen. Just because you're the loudest person at the party does not mean you're the life of the party. Someone being obnoxiously loud when they invite me to be part of an MLM company. Definitely not a pyramid scheme. That can make me a millionaire. Complaining, whining drives me crazy. Snobbiness over their major. So you are saying that being a STEM major does not make me better? No, it does. You just can't be a dick about it in front of the sensitive arts majors. Someone new pretending to be really smart. Shush. Earn your respect and then be a smartass. It's not funny if I don't know you. A person smoking is absolutely a factor. I just hate its sad face. To some extent that's true. But my grandpa smokes and I love him to death. He's fun to hang out with. He has the decency to step away when he needs a smoke. Generally I won't judge older folks for smoking because they grew up in a different era. Having a picture of her to himself as a phone wallpaper, when they make some mean sarcastic remark that isn't even meant to be funny. Having a sense of humor that boils down to putting down people in an attempt to get other people to like them. The motherfuckers who say disabled is offensive. Now you're supposed to say differently abled when they mistreat others. Not agreeing to disagree. If someone is like, what? How do you not take my opinion? So, when someone can't stay civil in a disagreement, greater than not agreeing to disagree. That expression is so obnoxious though. If they're okay with stealing. I've had friends that would take small things and justify it because it's just $1 or $2. If it was just $1 or $2, they should have bought it. I have friends who justify it because it's a large company and wait, they're rich or whatever. It's still not yours. Lack of introspection and self-awareness. Nothing is worse than people who don't care enough to ever look at themselves and ask why they are the way are. MAGA hat. Being so stuck up one political party's ass that they can't even hear an opposite debate or idea. Grow up. The inability to accept that they are wrong. not using turn signals, especially when it's law enforcement. Man, it drives me nuts. People who are so narcissistic that they won't stop speaking. Dealing with them is more like a monologue, theirs, than a conversation. Keeps butting in the conservation. People who look down on others. I'm 6'4", I can't help it. So, astronauts, pilots, upper floor apartment tenants, and the other person on a seesaw. Interrupting me while I'm talking. Occasional slip-ups are fine. But if it's consistent, then it tells me that the other person doesn't care about what I'm thinking, or saying enough to hear me out. And they instantly lose my respect for what they think and say. If they say they don't like cats, dogs, animals, Karen and Chad-like behavior. When they act bored of anything, like they're above anyone and have reached the ultimate level of coolness, lol. I never liked April on Parks and Rec because of this. Her character shows growth in the last 2 or 3 seasons, but besides that she sucks. If they boast their wealth, haha, I've got $200 in my bank account, I'm so wealthy, haha. When they keep reposting this damn question, as long as people keep asking it and getting responses, it'll keep coming up from time to time. People asking the same questions over and over again on our AskReddit. Don't mind the same questions being asked. I just dislike when they inevitably have the same rehashed comments. Seriously, I want some original answers. We get it. We all agree that treating waiters like shit is bad, and that being loud in public places is bad. Not wearing a mask at a store. When they ask you something but then don't let you answer. Or when they so eagerly slag someone off. People who speak with confidence about something they know nothing about. Yes, this makes me so annoyed. Sometime back, during my doctoral studies, I was taking a few MBA courses in an area I have already done my postgrads in. Some of the guys learning the subject for the first time used to be so confident in spouting absolutist statements that I used to get stunned. If we've only known each other a short amount of time and you decide to drag me into your dramas, then we may have a problem, monsieur. I go by the theory that if someone I've only just met starts whinging at me about how bad others have been to them, then I can't help but wonder what's going to be said about me behind my back by said whinger. Serious stuff. Okay, I'll consider it, but I seem to attract whingers with petty problems. Edit. OMG, thanks so much for the likes. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark. I love you. Loud show-offy types. A complete lack of common sense. Attention-seeking people. Even those who think they deserve all your attention. This is why I have no friends and I prefer having my own space. When they stage a land-sea invasion of my island. People who talk bad about other people. Even worse when you do it behind their back. Eye rolling for any reason. I rolled my eyes after reading your post just out of spite. But how else am I to quietly show my exasperation? Being judgmental, when they don't even try to consider other perspectives. People who think they're better than you because they have X opinion. Oh, you like metal? That's cute. I'm actually more of an folk polka country fan. But you do you. Quote. 1. People who select one fact or trait of yours, extrapolate on it and decide that is who you are, no matter how stupid that may be. 2. People who confuse opinions with facts. Also people who believe emotions make an argument. Just because you feel strongly about something doesn't mean you are right. 3. People who act overly emotional and irrationally and make problems worse. Asterisk example. In movies, when a teammate's sister is kidnapped, the dude freaks out and tries to go all lone wolf and gives a dramatic speech about how he was supposed to protect her. The team tells him to hang on for a second so they can make a plan and get all the facts, and he acts like they straight up said they wouldn't even try to rescue her. Asterisk. 4. People who think everyone else has had the same experiences in life they have. Just because it hasn't happened to you doesn't mean it doesn't happen. 5. People who get personally offended by another person's choices, particularly food or drinks. Why does it upset you that I chose Sprite over beer? My veggie quesadilla is delicious and it doesn't have anything to do with you and your chicken fajitas. Get off my junk. Mark. Huh. Guess I dislike a lot of people. Number 5 is such a pet peeve of mine. I'm a grown-ass independent woman. I will drink whatever I goddamn feel like. All of these, thank you. Intense gum chewing. Being rude or mean to me without any reason. The first time we meet. Gonna take a while for me to like you or tolerate you. People who talk over you and won't shut up. No pause for you to speak. A closed mind. Gold diggers, lying, gossip, backstabbing, bad, rude manners, bad hygiene, ECT. Putting a space before a comma. Spell hygiene's wrong. Also, etc. Self-praise, vanity. Arrogant people are people who complain more about you just because they don't like you. I had a girl in my class who would constantly tell me to be quiet or shut up even though others were making 10x times more noise than me. She was also the type of girl to be friends with every teacher so she could snitch on you as much as you want, repeatedly talking over you, especially if you're discussing something you don't agree on, leading them to think they've won the argument. I'm fine with most personality flaws, we all have them, but I can't stand self-righteousness. Anyone who uses the phrase, "I'm just telling it like it is." Any type of MAGA, Trumpian defending. At this point the only people on that side are people who deliberately choose to disbelieve reality. Factor, if it breathes. Factor 2, if it doesn't walk on 4 legs. What if it's inhuman with a dog suit and walks in 4 legs? It still breathes. What walks on 4 legs and doesn't breathe? Cars. Legs. If they ask me about religion, sarcasm. Growing up I thought it was an admirable trait, but I have now come to see the holier-than-thou attitude from which it often stems. When their words and actions don't match. Red flag. Not allowed in my life. When someone, incorrectly, assumes they know more than you about something. Like make an effort to figure out what someone's background is before you start condescendingly explaining trivial concepts to them. People who think they're actually smarter than another person because of a degree of some kind. Even 1 year of college. That only means something on a job application. Usually they tell other people how to do their unrelated job. I took a psychology class my freshman year. You are clearly behaving this way because of unresolved issues with your mother that happened during infancy. She is toxic and damaging your mental health. Very funny. Humor points. Just imagine if that person was a liberal arts major with a degree that means absolutely nothing. I've had that happen to me. It's intellectually excruciating. They just want to feel better than someone else and try to use that. Being disrespectful because you have no defense for your actions. People who chew with their mouth open, smacking. Also people who are inconsiderate and rude to waitstaff, strangers, people in general. Anyone who uses the phrase culling the herd. People who are overly nice and friendly, especially when you don't really know them that well. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.